Hey out there. First things first, I just want to say that I freaking called it! Okay, yeah, I'm not only catching up on Sonic Boom, I'm also catching up on that week's worth of Steven Universe episodes. And before I watched the Sonic Boom episode, I watched Steven Universe, and Garnet separated into Ruby and Sapphire, and Sapphire is a Cyclops, just like I said! Yeah, way back when we first found out they were a fusion, and I noticed that we never actually see Sapphire's face because her bangs hang down over it. I came up with the idea that maybe she's a Sapphire. That's why Garnet has 3 eyes, and everyone else is all like, "Nah, she has 2 eyes." It's that Sapphire has blue eyes, Ruby has red eyes, and Garnet has 1 blue eye, 1 red eye, and 1 purple eye. The purple eye is just the 2 eyes combined. And no! Sapphire has 1 eye. She is a Cyclops. She is a blue Cyclops girl. And you know what? I knew before they removed her bangs, because she started to cry. And when I saw the tear track, she only had 1 tear track going down the middle of her face. I'm like, why does she only have 1 tear track going down the middle of her face unless she has 1 eye? And then Ruby pulled her bangs out, and boom, she has 1 eye, and I'm right. Okay, Sonic Boom. This was the Curse of the Cross-Eyed Moose. This is one of Styx's episodes, which is fine. I think that Styx is pretty funny. Okay, so basic plot synopsis: Styx is out in the woods like she is, and she encounters that moose. I think it's the same moose that has that they used that screaming goat sound effect on once, but it's cross-eyed. It's like, oh, there. So apparently when you cross the path of a one-eyed moose, you get like cursed. So she runs back to her friends and says that they're all cursed now because she crossed the path of a one-eyed moose. So the only way to fix it is to she says that she'll try to protect them all from the effects of the curse. Oh, by the way, everyone else was having a pointless breath holding contest. You know, because why not? I gotta say, everyone's holding breath faces were pretty cute though. The way their cheeks were all blue, like, it's just adorable. So Styx says, Styx sets up some booby traps outside their houses, like Sonic. Amy can't open her door because there's a giant bear trap in front of it. Tails falls into a tiger trap that has like a grate over it, so you can't get out. Sonic gets stuck in a lanyard, not a lanyard, you know, one of those things, I don't know what you call it, it's, you know, that thing with there's a rope with a loop tied on it, and then when the rope goes up, the loop tightens around your ankle, that thing. And then, Knuckles, he actually steps in a giant bear trap, and, let's just say that where the teeth of the bear trap connect, it looks like a very unpleasant place to have a bear trap bite down. Like, I get what they're going for with the comically oversized bear trap, but maybe if the clamping point was either a little bit lower, so it had him by the thighs, or a little bit higher, so it had him by the stomach, it wouldn't look so, you know, yeesh. Alright, so they ask what they can do to break the curse so that Styx will stop booby trapping their homes. By the way, when they go to her house, they knock on her door and a net falls on them, and Sonic's like, I didn't even get a sandwich this time. Referring to the time when he got trapped in another one of her booby traps, but at least he had a sandwich. You know, I'm reminded of the Blue with Envy episode when she had a crush on that shrew guy. She said that if he came to visit her, she'd disable her booby traps. I guess, despite the fact that these 4 people are her only friends, they're not quite close enough to, you know, remove the booby traps for. Alright, so what do we do here? Styx knows that the only way to break the curse is to go see a monkey with a white stripe and a tail shaped like a W, who lives in the woods, so they all go, and there's a nice pleasant path with that nice music playing on it, but Styx says that the curse will find them if they're out in the open, so they have to go through the safe path, which involves crossing rivers on logs instead of bridges. Fight going through deep dark woods. Actually, there's one point where she goes into the dark spooky part of the woods and everyone else is like, screw that, and they go through a more pleasant wood path, and when they encounter Styx on the other side, she's all mad at them for not taking the path she took. When she turns around, her back is covered in giant spiders. But yeah, ultimately they finally get to their destination and everyone is all dirty and haggard. And Styx goes to the guy and she opens the door, and it turns out that the monkey guy, by the way, he's a marmoset, so that means he's little. His character design is physically shorter than everybody. Kind of like how, you know how Charmy the Bee, his figure is shorter than everyone else's? That's kind of what this guy's like. You know, speaking of the toy line, I'm wondering, why has Tomy not made any more characters? They've only made the main characters. They have the 5 main heroes, and then Cubot, Orbot, and Eggman. And the only other thing that's close to a side character is the Burnbot figure. Like, come on, Tomy. I mean, don't you want this line to flourish a little more? Make more characters. Jazzwares made like 40-something characters during their run with the Sonic license. And 9 of those came out in the first 2 years. Here you've been sitting on the Sonic Boom license for nearly a year, and we only have 8 characters. You're gonna start falling behind Jazzwares soon if you don't keep going. I mean, if you want to make the toy line based off of the video games, give us Shadow, Metal Sonic, and Lyric. If you want it to be based off the cartoon show, give us characters like Swordy Eagle and Comedy Chimp. I mean, expand your toy line. Anyway, so the monkey guy, he's been annoyed by people coming to have their curses broken by him for all these years, so he at first refuses to do it. But Styx begs and he relents, saying that if they complete a couple of tasks, then to prove themselves to be pure of heart and worthy, he'll break the curse. So they go off, they have to gather avocados and tomatoes, and basically they have to make him guacamole. And then they have to do his laundry. And while they're off doing the laundry, Dr. Eggman comes in, because of course Dr. Eggman has to come in, and he says that he wants to expand his repertoire, so he's going to get into the curse-breaking business, so he's going to get the monkey guy to work for him. The monkey guy doesn't want him to work for him, so he closes the door, and he's like, oh, I see, you want to negotiate. Okay, I got my negotiating tactics. Minions attack! And a bunch of robots attack the monkey guy's house. So the Sonic and his friends come back from the laundry and they see the robots attacking, so they fight off the robots and everyone's cool and happy and yay, yay, yay. And everyone is fighting. The monkey guy... Oh, by the way, the guy's name is Mr. Monkey Boy because his parents were hippies that gave him one of those trendy hyphenated last names. Parents, please don't give your kids trendy names. I mean, you have any idea how much bullying your kid will have to face if their name is an in-joke from something a decade and a half prior? I mean, you're pretty much gonna have an eternal virgin. Anyway, oh, by the way, the guy's brother is a dermatologist. There is a scene where Knuckles gets stuck in the mouth of a giant piranha thing. And he asks the monkey guy if there's anything he can do about the rash because he's allergic to fish saliva. And the guy says, "Get out of the fish!" Congratulations, Knuckles. You are officially too stupid to avoid being eaten by a predatory fish. Hooray! Alright, so when they fight off the robots and Eggman retreats, the monkey guy breaks the curse by just making a bunch of random hoopla noises and waving his hands. Like, there, you're cured, go away. So Styx is all happy and she's going away, and some weird moth 7-legged spider comes walking up and she says that causes an even worse curse, and the only way to break it is to go on another quest to do the thing, and then Knuckles comes in and goes, psh, curse broken! And that's how the episode, at least, Knuckles gets one brief moment of intellect here. Like, just the briefest flash of him actually being somewhat intelligent and proactive, you know? We just don't see that. Okay, so, the way we progress from here is, Well, that's the end of the episode. Okay, so do you guys know what a self-fulfilling prophecy is? A self-fulfilling prophecy is when you believe you've been told something about the future, so you try to take measures to avoid that future, but your measures actually end up being the one that brings the future about. An example of a self-fulfilling prophecy in the recent movie Tomorrowland. The guy that Dr. House played used a machine that could see into the future to broadcast on a subconscious wavelength a dystopian future where humanity destroyed itself with warfare and pollution and stuff. Hoping that seeing that terrible future would inspire them to, not do that. But instead, having this dystopia beamed into their heads drove humanity to a global case of depression and nihilism. Since they believed the world was just going to end up destroyed anyway, nobody had any kind of motivation to try to make things better, and that was going to end up bringing about the very future that was predicted. Another instance would be in Kung Fu Panda. In Kung Fu Panda Part 2, that goat lady who could see into the future told the family that their son would be dethroned by a black and white warrior. So he exterminated the panda population. Years later, the Po, the Kung Fu Panda, he comes back and he's the very one who defeats him. Of course, Po never would have had a reason to fight him if his people hadn't been destroyed and he hadn't been raised by the goose and eventually found his way to Jade Palace. He would have grown up as a farmer several villages away and probably never would have even had an interest in becoming a martial artist. So that's basically how self-fulfilling prophecy works. In this case, Styx, she believes she's cursed, so she takes steps to avoid the curse by setting up booby traps everywhere. But these booby traps end up causing them a bunch of misfortune and bad luck, i.e. the prophecy is self-fulfilling. So, yeah, prophecies are pretty much crap. Yeah, that's about it. This episode is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and, that's it. It's a Styx episode. We get to see Styx being crazy and manic, which is funny. And you know what? I kind of like this Marmoset dude. He was a funny little one-shot character. I wonder if he'll be joining the reoccurring character pantheon, like Dave the Intern and a few others. Well, we'll find out about that in future episodes, I guess. Alright, so let's move on to the next episode.